Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. Today's review is something that's starting to show up in supermarkets all across the USA. Here we have Nissin with their Geki Chili-Infused Asian Noodles Fiery Hot Chicken flavor. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you more of these reviews. So this product line, Geki, is not actually a new product line, although it is new to America. Geki products have been sold in places like India and Indonesia for a little while, advertised as Korean-style chili noodles that come in a variety of flavors. Here in the US, we just have this one fiery hot chicken flavor right now, and this is manufactured for the US market in Nissin's California factory. These do appear to be their own unique recipe and not a copy of the existing hot chicken Geki from Nissin. And if it wasn't obvious, this appears to be Nissin's attempt to cash in on the popularity of Buldak hot chicken ramen in America. But there are some interesting twists to this recipe that set it apart from Buldak. First off, there's real chicken in the ingredients, but more importantly, as you probably surmised from this text here, they fried chili flakes right into the noodles during the manufacturing process. It's something I've never seen before, not even from Samyang, and it is a pretty ingenious idea. Anyway, I found this in an Aldi supermarket, surprisingly, just last week for $1.19 for a single pack. But you may also spot this in other supermarket chains, and you can get it on Amazon in bulk. If you do have an Aldi near you and you intend to buy this is currently an Aldi find, meaning it is likely a limited stock, which is why I'm reviewing this immediately, because it might go away soon from Aldi stores. A single pack of these has a fairly medium sodium count of 1,250 milligrams, or 54% of your daily allowance. Not terrible. All right, inside we've got this block of chili-infused noodles and a seasoning packet. And aside from the chili flakes, the noodles appear to be a pretty standard wheat noodle, but they do have an interesting kind of puffy fried texture to them, if you can see that. In the seasoning packet, we've got powdered chicken fat and chicken stock, along with egg white, garlic powder, pepper powder, sesame seeds, and various unlisted spices. All right, so I'm going to go cook the noodles, and I will be right back. All right, so here's what the noodles look like after they've been cooked and drained, but I haven't made the sauce yet. And the reason for that is I kind of foresee something happening with these that I think some people may be more interested in the noodles themselves rather than the sauce packet. Like, you could throw these chili-infused noodles in other things, your own soup, your own sauce, stir fry, anything like that, and you'd have a chili-infused noodle rather than a normal instant noodle to work with in your recipe. So before I add the reserved water and the powder, I'm going to taste these and see how good they are on their own. Okay, well, the answer is not good. The chili-infused flavor in these is nice. It does quite literally taste like somebody took a few shakes of chili powder to the wheat noodle mix before these were fried and dried. The problem is the recommended cooking time of 5 minutes feels far too long for these. These are gummy, soft, mushy, thoroughly unappealing. Like, I do not love the texture of these noodles at all. Yeah, I honestly just got up to check the instructions in the package to make sure I didn't bungle something here, but no, they do say 5 minutes. 5 minutes is far too long for these if you want any kind of decent texture out of them. 3 minutes at most, I would say. Maybe 4 minutes if you like them a little softer than al dente, but this as a texture is awful. So while the noodles have good flavor and you could probably experiment with them for your own purposes and get them into a much more pleasing texture, the most I can give these cooked per the bag instructions is a 3 out of 10. Yeah, in my opinion, we're not off to a very good start here. So let me add the reserved water and make the sauce and see if that makes this any better. Okay, the sauce powder doesn't smell too bad. Some strong umami vibes with chili powder. Almost like a miso aroma, now that I'm thinking about it. All right, now that this is all mixed up, I'm getting a sweet, smoky garlic smell off of it. It smells really good. It's a shame that I already know the noodles aren't great. So let's give this a try and score the spice and the overall flavor. Oh, it's a shame about those noodles. All right, let me score the spice level first, both with and without the sauce. The noodles on their own have the smokiness and bitterness that you expect with a regular chili powder. Pretty good, nothing earth-shattering, definitely tastier than just a completely average Nissin noodle, but not very spicy on its own. You'd think chili-infused noodles would mean spicy. Not really. The noodles for me were a 2 out of 10 on the spice scale without any sauce. Now, adding the sauce to them has created a much spicier situation, definitely in the neighborhood of some of the medium spicy Buldak flavors. Now, for everybody's reference who may not have seen those reviews, I gave original flavor Buldak an 8 out of 10 on my spice scale, and 2X was a 9 out of 10 on my spice scale. This to me is not as hot as the original flavor, but also not as mild as something like Buldak Light or Lovely Hot. I'm going to say the spice level is just shy of what I felt with Buldak Carbonara, so I'm going to call this a 6.5 out of 10 on the spice scale. Don't get me wrong, it is still very spicy, but not quite what you might expect from something that's competing with Buldak. And now, so the overall flavor, it's a shame because I really like the flavor of this sauce. This has some really nice savory flavor to it that I have to assume comes from the chicken ingredients and possibly soy sauce or miso, depending on what they used in here. Great umami flavor. The garlic powder makes a strong showing. I love how garlicky this is. I'm very happy with that aspect of it. We've got a few tiny little sesame seeds in here that are adding more crunch than flavor. And there's a slightly sweet element to it, like you would get from other Korean sauces in this style. I really like the flavor of this sauce. And quite frankly, I don't have any complaints about the spice level or the flavor. My problem lies in the quality of the noodles, which are just so unfortunately not up to par, in my opinion. If the noodles turned out better, I would have no hesitation giving this something like an 8 out of 10 as an overall score, because the flavor is so good. But the mouthfeel of the noodles for me is just so unappealing that I have to knock this score down to a 6 out of 10 overall for me. So it's kind of funny. Going into this, I kind of expected that the noodles were going to be the star of the show and the sauce was just going to kind of be an afterthought. And it turns out that for me, it's the exact opposite. I think that cooking these noodles for 5 minutes yields a gluey, unappetizing mess in texture, but the flavor of the sauce is really good. So if you're a lover of spicy stir-fry noodles and you were thinking about buying these, my advice is to buy this and maybe experiment with it a little to get the noodles done to your liking, and then either use them with this sauce or one of your own recipes. But 5 minutes is way too long for these, and I'm going to have to play around with the other pack of these that I bought to see if I can get the noodle quality to be a little better. So if you do try these, if you do get to experiment with them in any way, let me know how it goes, let me know what you think, and hopefully you can get the noodles to turn out a little bit better than they did for me. So that's it for this review, and I hope you'll all join me for the next review here on Noodle Journey.